Good morning, everyone. Let's celebrate. I'm going to get you moving. I want you to follow my lead. When I go like this, we're all going to say celebrate, and we're going to do it 3 times. Celebrate. Louder. Celebrate. Celebrate. Fantastic. I can't even begin to tell you how shocked I am I'm standing here at this groundbreaking. I'm Ashley McCumber. I'm the Executive Director of Meals on Wheels San Francisco and have been for the past 12 years. And I'm really excited to welcome you here this morning. Obviously, we're here to do a ceremony where we're going to throw some sand and mark the beginning of construction. And that in and of itself would be a miraculous thing to celebrate. But frankly, we're celebrating so much more this morning. I believe that we're putting another marker and stake in the ground in support of this mission. And that's why we're here today to celebrate. It's serendipitous that the projected opening of this building that's going to be built on this property in 2020 aligns with our 50th anniversary of our founding. So today we are absolutely celebrating 5 decades of service here in San Francisco. We're celebrating a mission that started with a handful of people those 50 years ago who recognized they had neighbors who needed some help, who were elderly and needed some food, and they were lonely. And they started volunteering to cook food, and they morphed into an organization that today is one of the largest Meals on Wheels programs in the country. And also, in my opinion, is definitely a leader in aging services in San Francisco, and I believe in the country. We're also celebrating that since that founding, just countless volunteers, board members, staff members have carried that mission forward, and each year made it stronger and made it bigger and made it more responsive. We're celebrating decades-long partnership with the Department of Aging and Adult Services in the City and County of San Francisco to make sure that we can do what we need to do, and we're deeply grateful to our current mayor and our current board of supervisors for continuing that mission and working with us to do that. We're celebrating thousands of donors and businesses and foundations who help raise more than 50% of our budget each year. And especially we celebrate the restaurants and the vintners who each year raise about 20 to 25% of our budget. And I want to call out Chef Nancy Oakes for your leadership in that effort. We're celebrating also that we have embraced our responsibility to amplify the voice of seniors and to make San Francisco all it can be for them. All of us together have embraced some very important and simple values as San Franciscans. 1, no senior, in fact, no person should ever go hungry because they are homebound or without the resources and support they need. Number 2, no senior should be invisible or alone. Number 3, that all seniors have the right to live in their community and neighborhoods that they help build, they raise their families in, and have the right to self-determination and to live with dignity. And lastly, that cities and communities should be judged by how it treats the elderly, and we need to work every single day to make San Francisco the #1 age-friendly city in America. So today, we celebrate a major milestone, but this day has been a long, long, long time in coming, and we celebrate the hard work that's kind of led us here. The past has been extensive, to say the least, but one metric that led us here is pretty simple. In 2007, as an organization, we decided that that no senior should have to wait longer than 30 days to receive our service. And we partnered with the Department of Aging and Adult Services to make sure that anyone who was an emergency was served within 2 to 5 days. That simple commitment has driven us to the growth that we've seen that's brought us to this need today to build this new kitchen. In 2007, just to give you an idea, we served 523,000 meals in the city and delivered them, and this year, 2.1. Think about that growth. We were touching the lives of about 2,000 individuals unduplicated in the city. Now we're touching over 5 1,000 a year. That growth has been predominantly in seniors, but we've also in that 10-year period worked with the Department of Aging and Adult Services to serve those people who are homebound who are under 60, representing about 15% of our population. And also we're partnering with the food bank to deliver groceries to about 500 people a week. In the Department of Aging, and also working with this mayor and this administration to make sure that people in navigation centers have meals. And we're very grateful to be a part of that effort as well. It became quite clear about 6 years ago that we needed a plan to deal with this. We first conducted a full-scale operational review. Is there any way that we don't need to build a new kitchen? Is there anything else we can do? And that plan basically was pretty simple and straightforward. It said, hey, you need to get out of this kitchen. And so that began the process of saying, okay, we kind of are committed to the fact that we need to build something new. What is it that we should build? And we've designed a kitchen with the help of Kitchen Concepts, Inc. that will carry us forward for 30 years. So that's the second step. And then we got to the hard work. Where the heck can we afford to buy a piece of land in San Francisco, and where are we going to find that? And we originally wanted to keep all of our operations in one place, but unfortunately that was not in the cards, so we have an amazing plan B, which is we bought this site to build our new kitchen and distribution center, and we'll keep our site about really 3 minutes away on the other side of 3rd Street in the Bayview as our office and production facility. So we're going to have a 2-campus operation. So we purchased the site from Luxor Cab. Does anybody remember this as the Luxor Cab site? Because we're about to make it something quite different and so forth. At the end of the day, the price tag of all of this is going to be about $41 million. And we'll tell you a little bit more about how we're doing in that goal and raising, but you can rest assured that we've done well enough that we're here today, and we still have some work to do, and so forth. And we'll celebrate those who've carried us so far a little bit later. Here's what we're building. Here's some of the great features that we're building. On this site will be a 35,794 square foot, 2-story facility. You can see some pictures here, including a state-of-the-art cook chill area, high bay freezers, storage, assembly production, distribution yard, and receiving docks. This is the big news in this construction. We're going to move our daily production from 8,000 meals a day to 20,000 meals a day. It will be one of the only facilities in the region, and we think in San Francisco, that uses this cook chill equipment to produce bulk food and used in meals. And the other thing I'm very excited about is where we are. We're in the middle of the San Francisco Wholesale Produce Market District. We're food. We're great partners with Michael Janis and the Wholesale Produce Market, and we're looking forward to partnering with these businesses in this neighborhood and working to continue the efforts that are here in the neighborhood. It also will have a test kitchen that will help us improve the quality and choice for our clients and tailored meals as we tend to look at improving our services for client. And lastly, we're maximizing solar on the building so we can save some money and save the planet. And so we're very excited about that. Isn't that a great facility? So we're excited to have with us this morning Mayor London Breed. Before inviting her to speak, I just wanted to take a moment to recognize a few other elected officials who are going to be here or shortly or here already. Hopefully soon, Supervisor Gordon Marr from District 4 and Supervisor Shaman Walton from this district will be with you, and hopefully you get a chance to chat with them. We want to welcome the former District 10 Supervisor Malia Cohen, who's now chair of the Board of California Board of Equalization. Malia. And representing State Senator Scott Winter is Rose Giuliano, somewhere here. And representing State Representative David Chu, Kenneth Chen is here as well. So thank you for your service. And lastly, I think that the new captain of the Bayview District is here. I want to just give a shout out and a welcome to Captain Troy Dangerfield, who's taken on as the chief of the Bayview Station here. Hopefully we'll get a chance to meet with him. I was one of the lucky people who last year on July 11th was at a historic event where this city welcomed its 45th mayor, the first African-American woman mayor in the city's history, San Francisco native London Breed. It was an absolutely beautiful day, and I have only one regret. I should have worn a big hat because it was sunny, and it was a long time out there with a lot of fun. It's hard to believe that it was only really 12 months ago that that occurred, because this mayor has really been hitting the ground running. It feels like years of work has been done. And she's out there with a laser focused, trying to tackle the issues that affect our city, tackling the city's homeless crisis, adding more shelter beds citywide, expanding mental health and substance abuse programs, creating more housing for all San Franciscans, and keeping our city streets safe and clean. It is my sincere pleasure to introduce and welcome to the stage Mayor London Breed.
Thank you so much, Ashley. It is great to be here today, and I also want to recognize Community College Board member Alex Randolph. Thank you so much, Alex, for joining us today. I got to start by saying that this is probably one of the most organized and neat groundbreakings I've ever been to. Just the gravel on the ground, the neat and structured system here. I mean, this is absolutely incredible, because I've been to a lot of groundbreakings, and you know, Malia, how many groundbreakings we've been to. This is probably the nicest one we've ever been to. So thank you all for creating this wonderful environment for what I think is one of the best programs that we have in San Francisco. I want to start by thanking Ashley and all of the people who work for Meals on Wheels, because you do the hard work. And I know from experience how amazing the employees of Meals on Wheels are, because they served my grandmother for so many years. They did it with kindness. They always asked how she was doing today. They can tell maybe when she wasn't having a great day. And so they would spend time and put forth effort and talk about the food that they were bringing over. And it just really, for seniors who sometimes are living in isolation, how amazing to have, at least if no one else is coming to see you, that person who's delivering those meals sometimes is the only contact that so many of our senior community has when that meal is dropped off. And you know, this program and what it has done since 1970 has been absolutely amazing. And this facility, to go from 8,000 meals a day to over 20,000 meals a day, will make sure that we get rid of that wait list once and for all, so that no one is left off the list moving forward in the future. You all, the contributors, the people on the board, the folks who have supported this program over the years, the investments that you have made have had a profound impact on so many incredible lives. And you know this, because that's why you support this program. I had the opportunity, because I've visited over the years since I've been an elected official, various clients for the program, and have had great conversations, including the one I just had with Mrs. Lee earlier this year. And she was just so grateful and so excited and so happy, and just talked about her experience and how she probably wouldn't, honestly, she said, I probably wouldn't be as big as I am if Meals on Wheels didn't deliver these programs. And she was not big. She was a tiny lady. But she was so very happy. And, you know, food really brings people together. We help and support our senior communities in this way. And another way that we're going to be supporting our senior community is the housing bond, a $600 million housing bond without raising property taxes, with the largest amount ever dedicated to senior housing. And this is the largest housing bond we've ever done in the history of this city. So I'm really proud of the investments, the deliberate investments that we are making to support our senior population, our disabled population. And also, again, thank you to Meals on Wheels for supporting our navigation centers, because we know that homelessness is the #1 issue that we face in San Francisco. We have a lot of people who are struggling with mental illness and substance use disorder. We are really putting our best foot forward in changing how we provide support and services, and it involves making sure we have incredible partners. And Meals on Wheels, for so many years, has just been pushing the envelope, doing the great work. And this facility, which will be absolutely amazing, is just one step forward in continuing the great work that they have done for decades. I'm so excited to be here, and I can't wait to cut the ribbon when we open. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much, Mayor Reid. You know, nothing this monumental happens without a lot of effort, gathering the skills and leadership that necessary to make something like this happen. So we want to acknowledge how we've gotten to this day and acknowledge the team that's going to help us finish this up. First and foremost, I want to thank my board of directors and the many boards of directors who's been engaged in this conversation. I was talking to someone about this earlier. You know, boards by design are the keepers of the mission and, frankly, very hesitant to take on risk. And this group of people did their job. They made sure that we were taking on something that we could accomplish. And the fact that we're sitting here today is a testament, frankly, that they exemplify the type of leadership and stewardship we want on all of our nonprofit boards across the city. Let's give all these board members a big hand. I mentioned earlier we went through the slog of trying to find something to buy so then we can figure out what we could build and how much it would cost. Well, the first person who probably had to go through therapy after joining me on this effort that joined the effort was Dan McHugh, our real estate representative. And literally we worked for almost 2.5 years to get to this site and went through at least three scoping and pricing and buying exercises and so forth. So Dan, thank you for vesting with me and still actually being able to call me a friend. We also have identified an all-star team to help us with this kitchen and build it. The first person I mentioned earlier, but I want to call out specifically again, is Mike Baldwin from Kitchen Concepts. Mike was chosen not just because he's probably one of the best in the field nationally, but because he served for decades on Meals on Wheels board in Anaheim and helped them develop their kitchen. So when I saw the work that he had done there, I said, oh, you're the right guy for us. You're the person who really understands how we're different and why we're unique. And so thank you, Mike. We also want to thank that we have a local San Francisco LBE, local business enterprise. Jackson and Lyles Architecture is our architect. Julie Jackson and Brian Lyle could not be here today, but ironically, their parents are. So welcome. Welcome and thank you for being here. We also have engaged a really good friend of Meals on Wheels for years, but an excellent general contractor in plant construction. And we have an amazing team assembled under the leadership and the dogged determination of Don Libby. We also have a great owner's rep. This is the person that keeps our staff from having to deal with the machinations and represent us and tell us what does that mean, is Keith DeBrine from Skyline Partners. Keith, thank you. And an amazing kind of trio of people, in addition to myself, on our staff who really are on deck every week to make sure that we build the best building. First, David Linero, Chief Food and Operations Officer. David. Frank Scott, our Director of Fleet and Facilities, amazing asset to the organization. And the guy that keeps me out of jail as well as making sure having money in the bank, the CFO, Pat Smalls. Even with the best laid plans, we would not be breaking ground today without an extraordinary group of organizations and people who've come together to allow us to move this process forward quickly. And they have done this through the new market tax credit process. For those of you who don't know what new market tax credits are, you're blessed. But just for the sake of education, basically the federal government incentivizes through tax credits investments in distressed communities, programs that serve distressed populations or engage people who are in lower income. And so our project definitely fits that bound, and it aligns credits that organizations manage to give to projects, and they are aligned with these approved projects, and then on the back end, a bank buys them and takes the tax credit. That's basically it. That's all you need to know. And at the end of the day, that's going to deliver, listen to this, about $8.1 million to this project. And I would just want to really acknowledge the team that really have pushed us forward quickly on this project. First of all, David Wilkerson has been our consultant from Community Vision, formerly known as Northern California Community Loan Fund. Thank you, David. Thank you for helping me understand this weave of stuff and so forth. But leading the way to make sure that we anchored the new market tax credits that we needed for the project is the City of San Francisco and the San Francisco Community Investment Fund, or as we call it, SFCIF. And without them jumping in first and putting their stamp on this project, I don't know how others might not have joined as easily, and they gave us the anchor we needed. And so we just really want to thank the SFCIF for supporting us. Alongside of the CIF, San Francisco CIF was Northern California Community Loan Fund Community Vision, who invested with us very early as well. And then the group that has put us over the top is an organization called Community Impact Partners, which is more of a national partner. And really, they came in to push us forward as well. The irony is that two of these organizations are doing more than just giving us credits. They're actually funding our construction loan, and that's Community Vision and Community Impact Partners. We want to thank you for keeping us sane and giving us that option. We really appreciate it. I mentioned on the back end that a bank partner or investor partner usually comes into a project like this, and that partner is JP Morgan Chase. And we want to thank them not only for being that partner, but also for adding some credits that they had into the project as well. So thank you to Chase Bank. And lastly, obviously, you know that in order to put together a complex transaction, you have to have a good team around you. And I want to thank Luis Rodriguez from Goldfarb and his team, and also Chris and Brian from Nova Gradic, who are our CPA. And you probably are going like, gee, that's a lot of people, and a lot of, but it's not the end. We ultimately also have to bridge our pledges, the generosity that people have pledged over the next few years to make sure we don't have long-term debt on this facility. We need a bridge loan, and we want to thank our banking partner, First Republic Bank, for stepping up to bridge that pledge loan, and frankly for banking our entire capital campaign. Thank you so much to First Republic Bank. And you'll hear later, I'll just mention it and we'll mention it again later. They also gave quite a big gift to the campaign. So thank you. It's now my pleasure to really move us into thanking the other people who really put down significant markers and donations and pledges to this campaign, and invite two of the other people who have really lifted me for so long to come up and thank people who participated, and that is Russ Flynn and Jose Allen.
Thank you, Ashley. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I am Jose Allen. I'm a member of the board of Meals on Wheels San Francisco, and along with Russ Flynn, I co-chair the 50th Anniversary Capital Campaign. Russ and I are proud to be part of this vital project and to be able to thank each of you for your support of Meals on Wheels. Clearly, to be successful in raising almost $42 million needed for this project requires extensive generosity from many, many supporters. Luckily, we have been successful in raising the funds necessary to move forward and have secured 80% of our goal. So we have 20% left to go. Now, it gives me great pleasure to thank the individuals, I call them our first responders, who helped jumpstart this campaign. First, there are two families who have been part of the Meals on Wheels family for over 30 years and have led the way with their lead gifts. The first is my esteemed co-chair, Russ Flynn, and his wife, Lee. Actually, Russ and Lee didn't stop with just making their personal gift to the campaign, but they added to their gift by challenging their family and friends to join the effort. So for that, we're very, very thankful. The second family I would like to thank is the San Giacomo family through the Yvonne and Angelo San Giacomo Family Foundation. Susan San Giacomo, a Meals on Wheels board member, is here today to represent her mom, Yvonne, who could not be with us. Thank you again, and thanks to the San Giacomo family for their support. Next, while they could not be here today, I would like to thank our Meals on Wheels honorary board chair, Andy and Terry Goodman, who have led the way in this campaign, not only through their financial contributions to the campaign, but through their insights and untiring dedication to Meals on Wheels. Now, there are 42 additional individual donors thus far, but our program schedule today doesn't allow me to call each of them out individually. But there are a few that I would like to thank. And here they are: Emily and Sam Glick, Diane Pelliconi and Susan San Giacomo, Debbie and Andy Radcliffe, Craig and Maureen Sullivan Family Fun, Rosemary and Harry Wong, and Lisa and Todd Zabel. We are truly grateful for these and all other individuals who have helped bring us to the threshold of a successful capital campaign. I look forward to being with all of you at our dedication in the last quarter of 2020, when we'll have an opportunity to memorialize all the gifts to the campaign through naming and donor recognition. Thank you so much for your support.
Thank you, Jose. I'm Russ Flynn. I would like to start off by acknowledging Ashley and all of his humility for having the vision and the leadership abilities to drag this board, some of whom actually left the board because they didn't feel this was a possibility that we could realize. Ashley, thank you sincerely for your efforts. Now I'll get back on script. Jose, thank you for everything you've done. Without Jose, I wouldn't even know how to begin to raise money. He's done this so many times. And while I've raised money for political campaigns, I've rarely raised money for philanthropic. It's easier to just give. Also, I'd like to thank all the corporations and foundations that have contributed to this. And I'm just going to run through them. The ERPS Foundation, City of San Francisco Office of Economic and Workforce Development, First Republic Bank, Kaiser Permanente, Corette Foundation, Crescent Porter Hale Foundation, Walter and Elise Haas Foundation, the Bob Ross Foundation, and our only one technology contributor, Uber. And that, unfortunately, has been a little bit of a shortcoming in our campaign. And while we have the mayor here, I'd like to challenge her to maybe open the door to a few more of these folks and give Jose and I a chance to see if we can convince them to make contributions. While we've raised 80% of our funds, we still need 20% more. So I'd challenge everyone here who has already given to reconsider and think about just stretching just a little bit more. And that could help us put us over the $41.5, $42 million that we need. Thank you all for coming today, and Ashley, it's yours.
Sincerely, I think you can see pretty easily how blessed we are to have Russ and Jose, and frankly every board member and donor associated with this organization. We wouldn't be here without you. We're coming to the end of the speaking program. This is short and sweet, hopefully. It gives us a chance to just kind of relax, but also celebrate a little bit. And now we're going to do something. I don't know how we're going to do this and so forth. But I do want to offer a few closing thanks and instruction. First of all, can we just give our staff that work every day delivering food, answering the phone, I just don't think none of us who don't do this work think about what it means to walk up buildings and 6 flights of stairs with food in your hand, in buildings with no elevators that work or whatever, and getting in and out of a car and driving in the city. It's pretty amazing. We have social workers that are going in trying to help people literally have nothing. And people that have challenges and so forth, and we have a staff that back them up logistically that's just unparalleled. So again, my deepest and most sincere appreciation to them. I specifically want to thank our development team led by Jessica Sweedler. And we've been working together now for 12 years, and we almost feel like we're kind of a dysfunctional family, but a good dysfunctional family, and working together. And frankly, the reason why I think both she and I and others deserve a little credit is we didn't staff up to run this campaign. We're just running it. We're just running it on top of the $7 or $8 million we have to raise every year on already. So we really appreciate that. But we had the heart to do it, and we've been successful. So thank you all. I also want to thank the team who worked hard on this event, specifically David Miranda, our events manager, Jim Oswald, our communications and marketing director, and the person who has the hardest job on earth, being my assistant, Michelle Furlong. And if I didn't call your name, please know how appreciative I am to you for what you do to support us in this work every single day. It's just not possible to do this. So what we're going to try to do